I don't get starstruck. I'm around someone, I don't really see it. I'm like, okay, no big deal. When I see Pereira, though, he's different. He is a star. That's a dude that I get chills when he walks out to fight. It's just a completely different thing. There's no question about it. I tweeted about it. That guy has an aura about him just when he's walking around, and the whole look, and it's not a look as him putting on anything other than being who he is. This dude is built to fight. He's built to perform. He is a promoter's dream.
There's no doubt what this guy has done is unbelievable. Not just in, if you want to compare, and the way he's done it. I mean, this guy destroys everybody.
Yes. There is something special going around Alex Pereira. The first time Vanderlei Silva was ever in my presence, he walked into a gym at Randy Couture's, and I remember I was out on the mat sparring. He just walked in, he got his bag over his shoulder. I swear to goodness, I could feel something around him. I felt that same way when I saw Hoist. First time I saw Mike Tyson. Pereira is getting that. There is something happening at all times. I really never seen anything like Pereira. From a fighter to a presence to a leader to an inspiration, man. The guy is special, and I would not have predicted this, Daniel.
I was just telling you, this is a different thing you're dealing with. I mean, there's great kickboxers. There's a lot of great kickboxers. There's knockout artists. This is different. Yeah. It's like a different kind of human. He's built different. There's something about him. It's also the style is different. Yeah. The movement is different. The way he's able to land extraordinary power with no telegraph. Yeah. The way he's able to damage your calves and slowly start breaking you down. And Polino was saying that even the way he cuts weight is different. Yeah. He's like, the weight comes off him easy. Yeah. Like a lot of weight. Yeah. A lot of weight. And it just comes off him.
Right. But I am getting increasingly more starstruck and not less when I am around Poatan Alex Pereira. Bro, like, what is it about this guy as he defends his belt now for the third time in 175 days that has guys like Joe Rogan speaking in superlatives that they've never uttered before?
When he's closing the gap, when he's there with his aura, with his size, with his presence, with all of that, it drains you. You know what? I made a note to myself. It was like watching a vice be tightened. Yeah. You know, Ken, you watch a vice, you put a can, Sam, you put a can in a vice and you start tightening it and you watch the can start to just crumble, start to bend, start to collapse. That's what watching Pereira to me is like.
He doesn't allow himself to get worked up, to go into overdrive, whether it's physical or mentally. You've got to be calm in there, and that's what you see from Alex Pereira. Always extremely calm.
I love how everybody thinks that I'm always against Alex Pereira. I'm a big fan of the style he implements when he fights people. I want to see people expand their martial arts.
And he's putting the work in, man. This guy is disciplined. Every time I see him, he shows a new wrinkle to his game. The improvements that he's shown from, the first fight that we did for the rewind for the UFC to where he's at now, dude, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. This is a true martial artist, but he's also a fighter, man, all the way down to the heart.
I think it's a very short period of time. Roundtree, possibly Ankalaev. I don't know that I can go any further on the list, where guys are going to quit in the back. There is a Mike Tyson-esque and Anderson Silva-esque aura around Pereira, and I think guys are going to start buckling.
Yeah, no, he's big, he's strong. Everything he does hurts. I mean, there's nothing about him that's gentle. Yeah. His look, his physicality, nothing that's gentle. I mean, he doesn't do anything, with a feather duster. He does everything with a sledgehammer.
This guy's just crazy. I'm telling him, he has no life. All he does is like looking video, looking fight video, starting video, really obsessed about the fight game, and that's the reason why he's so successful.
that lets you know that that's a championship mentality. Like, look, whatever happens, I know I can do it. I know I can beat these guys. I know I'm better than them on the feet. All I gotta do is fix this. And like, he has that championship mentality. I gotta be honest, man. I'm a huge fan.
I'll tell you what, Alex is a national treasure. It's very rare we have a guy come into mixed martial arts and do what he's been able to do. He's finishing everybody. I don't think any of his fights have ever gone to a decision. He's either finishing them or he's getting finished.
And, he's just different than everybody else in that he's such a specialist. He's not taking nobody down. Like, you never have to worry about him trying to take you down. He's not even interested. He's such a specialist. But that specialist is one of the best specialists ever at that game. Like, you watch him at his peak in glory. But dude, Alex Pereira in glory
was he at his peak, or is he peaking now?
Oh, I think he's peaking now as a fighter.
And his schedule is insane. I mean, he's fighting every few weeks at this point, main eventing pay-per-views. Do you know what I mean? No wonder he's a happy man. He's from Brazil. He was working in a factory. He was a drunk in a pub. And now he's the belle of the ball with millions of dollars in the bank. And he's done it without breaking a sweat. Do you know what I mean? Like, when I was winning fights or fighting, I was covered in scars. I lost an eye and all the rest of it. Pereira never has a scratch on it. Do you know what I mean? Boom, chama, let's go.
Sometimes the world can be unfair, but sometimes the world can also just be beautiful. And you know why the world is beautiful to me right now? Because Alex Pereira, who not only is a fantastic fighter, but an all-around good guy, is absolutely ruling the light heavyweight division and really all of mixed martial arts, Chill. This guy continues to raise the bar.
There's something about specialists, whether they're specialists in wrestling or specialists in kickboxing. When you get someone who's that much better than everybody else at one skill, it's just such an extraordinary thing. And when every fight starts standing up, when you're dealing with a guy where the consequences are so grave, when it comes to a guy like Poatan, he's just so different than anybody else. And you saw that with Yuri Prohaska. I mean, you saw it with Strickland, who's the current middleweight champion. I mean, the man can put people's lights out.
Here's the thing, you guys, about Alex. I could spar Alex, and I could go point for point, and, I could hit him. I could kick him. But the difference is, the man touches you, and you just fucking die.
His left hook is nasty. It really is, man. It'll make anybody. It'll make somebody wake up and be like, "Is it Christmas yet?" We're talking about in July. I mean, this is the type of power that this dude has. Those leg kicks, man, when you get somebody that has leg kicks like that, like it sucks. It's the same reason why I started kicking. Because once you know what it feels like to get hit and that certain part where there's not a lot of fat and there's a lot of bone, you have to attack it. And he does a really, really good job.
But dude, Alex Pereira is the real deal. And his game has been called simple, which is fine. But best of luck to the rest of the light heavyweight division. We all love Magomed Ankalaev and his game and his wrestling and his versatility. All the best against that Poatan cat.
Where you got a guy who hits that hard and he's tying you up and looking for that big left hook, which he puts everybody down with. Look at the Strickland fight. Look at all these other guys. It's like he's not the fastest striker, but when he connects, it is dangerous.
He also forces you to fight fights that is not going to be beneficial to you. Having to stand with Alex Pereira, at some point he's going to find a way to hurt you. Whether it's with those brutal leg kicks or with his hands, he's going to find a way to hurt you. But you still are forced to stand with him. He also is a guy that knows enough to counter and score right when he needs to.
We're seeing a changing of the guard. When I look at Alex Pereira, he defies many things that I have believed since I started studying the sport in 1993 about how well-rounded you must be. If you don't own a wrestling singlet, you don't even have to do great, but you better have been on that mat. If you didn't try out for Abu Dhabi, and I just mean going into grappling tournaments, if you didn't do this kinds of things somewhere along the way, you're just in the practice room, you think you can learn how to defend in the octagon with grappling you did in the practice room. These things don't work. Alex Pereira is very unrefined, Daniel. That's what's scary about this guy. His best days are still in front of him.